Alright guys, so what is up? I'm actually filming this for the first time using the newest DJI Osmo Pocket number 2. There's been quite a lot more improvements on this camera, so I'm going to see if vlogging with this is a better option because you have a little bit more stability with the camera itself, and it's such a small device that I can fit in my pocket. Really easy. Improved audio, which I hope you are hearing this well. I'm speaking right into the built-in microphone, so let me know what you guys think of the audio coming straight from this camera. Okay guys, so in this video I thought it would be a cool video to talk to you guys about my current setup and rotation, why I use the tools that I use, and the cool thing about the barbering industry, and also the plus side of working with a technology company like Babyliss Pro is that there's always new tools that are coming out every single year. Things are improved, battery life, functionality, the blades, the colorways, the locking detents are improved. If you guys are looking for recommendations, these are some tools I do suggest at the moment. I usually do always upgrade my tools as time goes on, even from when I first started until now. They constantly change every single year. I'm always trying out the newest clippers, trimmers, just trying to find something that's always going to help my work. So here's my current setup. If you guys are looking at this mat right now and see this little strip right here, this is a magnetic strip, a new mat that just came out, released by Babyliss Pro. You can find it on their Amazon site. We now have a store on there under Babyliss Pro. You'll be able to find the newer products. But here we have these are my main guards. This is the 0.5, 1, 1.5, and 2. The way that I carry it in red is also the other colorway that I carry in black. These are going to be for my FX clippers, and these are going to be more for the X2 type of blades. If you're familiar with the X2, this is for the X2 having that extra 0.5 and the 1.5 that it doesn't come with, so you get those in-between blending guards that come with it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about trimmers and clippers. So FX clippers are my go-to when it comes to blending hair. I love them for going in between guidelines. I actually use a similar clipper, kind of like an X2, for all my guideline work because I love how thin some of these guards are. So this, if you look at this is why I really like this. But go ahead and look at this, the width of this. This is actually a 1.5 guard, but look how skinny that is compared to a universal kind of 1.5. You see the thickness of this one versus something like this. This is kind of why I prefer using the X2 type of blades, which is these guards for all of my blending work, putting all of my guidelines in. I set those up and then I use the FX clippers, like using these guards to blend in between those zones. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I talk a lot about the different types of blades. So here on my 2FX, I would like to show you the difference. There is 2 guards that are probably the most talked about that a lot of people like. And let me show you the back of these. So you have your black taper graphite blade and then your black graphite fade blade. There's a massive difference when you look at both of these items right here. The flatness here, and let me show you this one from the side. You have a beveled blade right there. And if you see it from the edge, you can kind of see how it scoops. And what I'm really into right now, surprisingly, is this taper blade here. I was using the fade blades for a really long time until I finally tried the taper blade. I was like, you know what, let me just try in one of my custom effects. Let me put one of these on here and see how I like it. And I actually like it a lot more just because of that bevel. I have that extra assist when I'm fading, and it gives me that extra scoop, even though I'm already doing a C-scoop naturally with my techniques. So having that there also just helps me soften the haircut even more. Now, I do still love this, and this is why I kind of have this on deck. As I'm using these fully charged, I can swap back and forth, especially when one starts to die, I have another backup. And so having those 2 options ready and available are pretty useful for me, and I really love having it. So those will go right onto the magnetic strip here. Let me show you guys how it works. So the cool thing about this magnetic strip is that if you look at it being on the mat, it still gives me a whole lot more space on my mat to put other things, combs, guards, my razor, stuff like that. So I love having that there, and it sticks pretty good. It's pretty strong, and the good thing is that if you look at this, even if this is fully stacked with tools, this mat won't flip upwards from the weight. So the weight and the balance of it is pretty cool. All right, so up next we have our matching custom effects trimmer. This recently just came out, you guys, and I think it was a limited run, just depending on how many they can do during COVID and, you know, the production for these. But again, this is the Graphite deep tooth blade that I have on here, and it matches this clipper right here. This is my first matching set for clipper and trimmer other than the black series. And, you know, I really love it because it makes my tools look different. And now if I go anywhere, they are less likely to get lost or mixed up with other people. So that's also a pretty cool customization feature of having it that way. Put that on there as well. And another one that I always add is another trimmer. So that could be, let's see, I'm just grab this one right now. I always have backup just in case when one dies, I have another one ready to go. So here is another one. This is the Silver FX trimmer, also with the Graphite 2.0 blade. So I have that ready just in case anything dies. As you can see, this beautiful piece right here just came out. This is the black foil, finally out, which will match your Black Effects clipper and trimmer. I love how sleek it looks. This is massive. I love the anti-irritation foils, solid find. This is a solid piece to have, all metal housing. I love the actual metal cap. So when I'm traveling, this is less likely to fly off, and then the foils underneath get, you know, broken or teared or anything like that. So this protects it really well. Then I have a gold one, and you guys have seen the silver one, and I'm sure you've seen the other smaller one, which is your single foil, which I still love to use a lot as well. We got my Irving. This is my Irving Stay Gold Edition razor. They actually don't make this one, so this was a specialty piece, so I'm the only one that has this one. It's my favorite, it's my go-to. I love the black one, super slick finish, kind of similar to my foil just right here. I love it. One of my favorite because of this tension control. If you guys haven't had a chance, I would highly suggest you check this out. And any of the information on what type of products and tools that I'm using and talking about in this video, I'll put in my bio description below, so you guys can also look it up, and I'll have some direct links to Amazon pages where you can find the products as well, even down to the type of guards that I have right here, because I know sometimes they're really hard to find the replacements, so I'll list those all for you. Can't forget about your all-in-one disinfectant spray. If you use a little bit of this before and after each of your haircuts and all your tools, this is going to really help maintain the life of your tools and not allowing your blades to get really dry and worn out. I never over oil, because what happens is if you over oil any of your tools and you're putting oil and your clippers are standing upright instead of upside down, you're going to create a lot of buildup in this space right here, which then can cause the whole thing to fill up with hair, and you know, you're gonna feel the jam as you're cutting hair with that. So just be careful not to over oil, and only use oil when you need to. These are my go-to blades that I probably use the most, Astras. They're just quick and easy. They're the snap kind. These are pretty dope. I love them the most. They're pretty good quality. They feel pretty sturdy. So those are my go-to blades here if I'm not using the Jatai ones. But the Jatai ones, I would rather use those when I'm traveling, because it has the back piece where the disposable blade can go in the back, so I don't have to leave blades hanging out, and I kind of like it for that. So next what we have is my comb. This is something I know a lot of people look for, and you can find this on Amazon if they do have it. It's I found it randomly once at a hair show like 5 or 6 years ago, and since then I have never been able to put it away. It's one of my favorites. This is called the number 299 BW Japanese carbon comb. They usually have them in and out of stock online, so go ahead and check that out. I'll also leave a link below if I can find it for you guys to access as well. So check in the description for that. Also, you know, nothing fancy with the regular styling combs. These are always a must-have. I like the really basic ones. They kind of just feel nice. Nothing too fancy with those. And then also, you cannot forget having a fade brush, because this is the only thing that I know can brush off the hair. If we try to brush hair off with this comb, it's almost nearly impossible to get a nice clean slate as you're working. And these are the best. These are the best to really clear out the pathway before you do it, because the last thing you want to do is see a piece of hair that you thought was still part of the head, and you cut it off and realize that it wasn't there, and it was just the excess hair that fell off from somewhere else, and now you've created a hole, and now you got to fix the whole thing. I'm speaking from experience because that has happened to me. So using some sort of fade brush to really clean the area that you're working on is going to help you so much visually see exactly where you need to cut. This might not be important, but it kind of is, and I realize this usually in times of panic, when things don't work out. Say a cape doesn't fit around your client's neck, say the buttons don't align, or that the buttons do align and they don't go into each other, like it won't click into place. And I'm always searching for one of these. You can't go wrong. It's a cape clip, super old school, but this is a lifesaver because this will actually keep the capes close together, because sometimes if you have it on too tight, people like get irritated, or if it's too loose, the hair's falling in. This is going to allow me to make sure I have it exactly where I need it to be. So I love this a whole lot more than just having a regular button or Velcro or some type of, you know, clip. So guys, let me know how you like this video. If you found value in this, please give it a like. Please subscribe to my channel. It helps a lot. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to put it into the comment box down below. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys next time.